What's poppin', Quados? It's me, MT, and welcome back to the Heavy Spoiler Show. Let's go on ahead and break down episode 7 of Rick and Morty season 7, shall we? So sit back, relax, and open your mind because we about to get into it. The episode starts with Summer doing a bunch of chores that Rick has neglected to do around his various sub-basements, including cleaning up the mess that Rick and Morty left behind all the way back during Morty's Mind Blowers in season 3, episode 8, a room that Rick would return back to later on in the episode when he looks for Summer around the house. And when he does, we can see the names of some of Rick's vials of memories, including Micro-Tit, LOL, Virginity, Stanford, T-Balls, and Pocket Poo, which sounds like something I definitely want to forget. But anyways, when Summer gets fed up with doing chores, she forces her grandpa to pay up by designing her an attribute slider in the style of a Pip-Boy from the Fallout video game series, a series full of attribute sliders so that gamers can make the character of their choosing. But anyways, after Summer slaps on her attribute slider that allows her to alter her levels of strength, charisma, dexterity, and intelligence, Summer sacrifices a good bit of her intelligence in exchange for the strength to lift her grandpa up in the air like we see her do in the new theme intro for season 7. Morty then barges in and complains that he doesn't have an attribute slider of his own, to which Summer calls him a bottom feeder who begs for scraps, which is something that Rick later reveals that he agrees with when he calls Morty a dog in comparison to Summer, who he treats like an equal because Summer reminds him of his dead wife Diane, which could actually explain why Rick chooses to not adventure with Summer as much as he does with Morty. I mean, it has been established in the past that Rick primarily chooses to hang out with Morty the most because the Morty waves that Morty produces help shield Rick from undesired detection. But I think that Rick also prefers Morty over Summer because he might not want to risk losing Summer if one of those adventures goes awry. I mean, yeah, he can always go to another universe and get a new Summer, but it wouldn't be this Summer from his version of the Smith family. So there could be a degree of protectiveness that Rick has for Summer, even though he knows damn well that Summer can take care of her own damn self. That girl's a little badass, man. But hey, grandpas will always worry over their granddaughters. But anyways, when we get to the big teenage frisbee golf party, we can see that the party has a May the Course be with you poster and banner in a reference to May the Force be with you from Star Wars. A couple of Summer's friends from past episodes show up at the big party, including Trisha Lang, who first appeared in season 3 episode 5's The Whirly Durly Conspiracy as Summer's competition for Summer's ex-boyfriend Ethan, Bradley Kay, who is one of the star players of the Harry Herpson Herpsons football team, as well as Nancy, a friend that we learned that Summer bullied and treated like shit all the way back in season 1 episode 11's Risky Business. But they managed to work things out and now they're friends again. Morty and Summer then start fighting over the attribute slider, leading to Morty maxing out Summer's intelligence to make her weak enough to overpower her for the slider, choosing to make himself super strong. But unfortunately, this hulked out Morty doesn't know that his dumbass just accidentally gives Summer the genius powers and forehead of the leader from Marvel Comics, using her mastery over math, trajectories, and probabilities to make the perfect frawl throw that would trip and humiliate her little brother. The two then fight some more before inevitably having their spines genetically braided together after they fall into the pool with the attribute slider, turning that party pool into a literal gene pool, which I thought was hilarious. Summer then emerges from the pool with Morty as her new stomach, Quato, which is of course a reference to the tiny psychic stomach mutant of the same name from 1990's Total Recall starring Arnold Schwarzenegger. Free your mind is the only thing that Morty says in this episode because it's a famous quote from Quato in Total Recall when he's trying to get Schwarzenegger's character to open his mind so that Quato could tap into his memories. This is actually the second Quato reference of the season, as Rick Prime had a Quato of his own while fighting Evil Morty in episode 5. Summer then interrupts Rick's interdimensional cable viewing of Cake or Fake, which is a show parody of the internet memes where people make cakes into realistic objects that don't look like cakes at all, leading Rick to tell Summer to do more chores for him in exchange for his help. While Summer takes a break from feeding Rick's alien plants in his little workshop of horrors, Summer scrolls through Instagram stories from the Frolf party before having the Instagram algorithm convince her to head to the Mind Openers Club on another planet. An Open Your Mind poster can be seen on the outside of the club before Summer heads inside, with the first person that Summer actually runs into being the same woman that Summer would of course end up dating by the end of the episode, confirming Summer to be just as bisexual as her mother is, which is super dope. But anyways, right before this woman compliments Summer in the club, she says, "Oh my glob," which is also a popular saying in the cartoon series Adventure Time, but is likely just being used as a reference to the globs of flesh that all the Quados in the club have hanging off of their stomachs. Then as Summer and Morty order drinks at the bar, you can actually see Quiet watching Summer from afar at his table like the Quado trafficking creep that he is before he actually approaches her. Quiet then introduces Summer to Kenneth, who has very much given himself a very Jesus Christ type of look, likely very intentionally because he himself is a leader of a cult. I mean, if Jared Leto can do it, Kenneth can too. And notice that Kenneth yells, "I love being a Quado," in the same cadence as the Ninja Turtles yell, "I love being a turtle," which I thought was kind of fun. But what isn't fun is Summer being betrayed by Quiet in a similar vein to how Brian Mills' daughter Kim is kidnapped in the 2008 Taken movie. But instead of Summer being taken, it was her Quado Morty, with Summer being left to a fiery fate were it not for Summer being the badass bitch that she is. Using her special set of skills, Summer gets her own damn ginger ass self out of her own situation, with a little help from Rick's cybernetic ponytail that he mentions earlier in the episode, basically giving her the powers of Medusa from the Inhumans. Beth later notices Summer missing and sends Rick to go find her. As Rick is looking for Beth, we can see a green and yellow Mandalorian helmet inside of this container here, alongside Mjolnir and what looks like the visor of Cyclops from the X-Men. Then Rick goes on a tear throughout space, punching random aliens like Brian Mills and Taken, before eventually running into Summer, who reveals to Rick that Morty was brought to a Taken house after Summer learns to open her mind to Morty. The psychic place that Summer goes to while she connects to Morty looks a lot like Eleven's psychic place from Stranger Things. Shout out to our editor Matt for that one. Morty is even being auctioned off in a similar fashion to how Kim was in Taken. Rick and Summer then go after Morty at the Taken house, which then leads Rick to jumping out of a window with Summer, only for his cybernetic butt implants to inflate and cushion their fall. Like, I truly love just how much of an Inspector Gadget parody Rick has made himself, because this man's body has an impossible amount of technology inside, including a freaking shoulder laser apparently, just in case anyone with tongs gets too close while Rick is sleeping. But anyways, after Rick reveals that he views Summer as an extension of her grandmother, the gang confronts Kenneth, who reveals that he is actually several layers deep within multiple Quados, which is kind of weird. Then Morty busts through the roof and bites the evil Quado's ear off, just like Mike Tyson did at the MGM Grand Arena in Las Vegas on June 28th, 1997. Then, after the three dispose of the Kenneth Quado in the sea and steal his walking device, Quado Morty finally gets the Frolf acceptance that he always wanted at the end of the episode, as he scores a winning point for the Harry Herpson's Frolf team, before accidentally firing the missiles and destroying everything. And finally, the post-credit scene features a parody of the evil masked millionaires from Squid Game, in particular, the evil man in the mask who bet on the Squid Game player 69, with all the masked men in Rick and Morty all making 69 jokes. And one of those men even has their legs up on an animal-themed servant, much like we see in Squid Game itself. But anyways, that is it for this breakdown of episode 7 of Rick and Morty season 7. Again, I want to give a special shout out to our editor Matt, who helped me a lot with some of the Easter eggs in this episode. That man is amazing. Go follow him at Superhero Nexus on Twitter, and you can follow me at Mastertainment on Twitter and Instagram if you guys want to see me post some weird shit. But most importantly, follow Heavy Spoilers here on YouTube, because you guys don't want to miss anything that we upload at any point in time, because we got stuff for you pretty much constantly. But again, thank you guys so much for watching. I'm very thankful for you guys. I hope you guys have an amazing Thanksgiving if you guys celebrate, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.